So after your 5 years and you come back, can I consider when we work together, that's
Yeah.
the first time you got into like a career?
Um, Full-time career, yes. Yes, that was my first time into a full-time career. Yeah.
Mm. Why out of many organization you
Yeah.
choose being with us?
Um, it was a matter of fate.
Okay,
I
that's
think
one.
I think so initially when I joined, them, right, my role was to do more of the corporate services kind of role. But I realized that, when you join the social service sector, you cannot straight away do corporate services. You need to spend some time, working on the ground. I really understand. And I think that's really important. So I think I was fortunate that I was given the opportunity, to be together with the program team. And I think that really changed my whole worldview, lah. Of how we see Singapore, right? Like yeah, I think coming from an all boys school, my whole life spending in Australia, at 5 years away, and I think society changes a lot. So when I come back to Singapore, now I got the shock of my life, like, why are some of these issues happening, right? It's not this airy fairy Singapore that we think of. And I think that really changed my worldview. I think what's more important, is not only that I understand society, but I also understand my colleagues. And I think one of the biggest problem or the biggest challenges that I observe is that when you work on the ground, every life matters, right? To us, every life is unique. You have to do something, and I appreciate that. And I think that's important. Sometimes when you get caught up, in the big system of things, they can become a number. It can become it can become a number that becomes unfortunate. So I think that's the balance that we need to do. Yeah. So I'm very happy lah. I think the best years of my life was still in AWA, uh, doing programs. So that was fun. Yeah.
Yes, man, and all the D&D, the crazy night we had.
Oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
in my was it what did I wear? Was
was
it
that a
monkey? Oh, monkey.
monkey? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah.
monkey.
That was good. That was good. That was a
But tell
fun
you,
time.
when we heard that you are coming in, not knowing
Yep.
who you are as a person is very much of your background. And then
Yeah.
for us, it's like the environment is dominated by female.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we heard like there was a male, Malay, coming in. Alamak, hostile or not this guy? Fire or not? And then the next moment is like, can
Yep.
work with us or not? Can
I
work
think
with
that's important.
all
Yep.
females and the machi all
Yep.
together.
Well, Sap, look who's
Oh
more machi
well,
than everybody else.
I'm surprised he's multi-talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
the people person.
Yeah.
So
To be really honest, I was shitting in my pants the day I got posted to AYFS. Like I mean, honestly speaking, even before that, I was doing my thesis in a multinational corporation, right? And then now my office is like literally under the void deck, right? And I think
yeah.
and I think yeah, that was a total switch for me lah. But I really appreciated it, and I think one of the things that I value the most, right, working with a full team of female, is to upskill myself working with female because I come from a boys' school, my whole secondary school life, right? And that shapes me. Then naturally, you tend to hang out more with male rugby boy. Come on, so it's all about all about guys. That's what testosterone overdose, right? But I think coming and working with women really grounds you lah, in the way you work. You know, even simple thing like how do you work with your colleague when she's experiencing the time of the month, right? You cannot go all hard because that's not appropriate. So you must have some empathy to say, okay, maybe this time we give space, and we focus on other things. So I think that is what, yeah, that really taught me a lot. Yeah, and I learned more lah. I learned more than anything. But I mean, I struggled the first few months. Can't speak proper Malay, everything. The Malay you, but can't speak proper Malay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was fortunate I get to brush it up lah. And I'm very lucky that the youths that I work with were very very tolerant with me lah. They can tahan me lah. Not some like this guy, angmoh tak menjadi.
Wait,
Yeah.
ABCABM. Is it
But
American born Malay?
Aussie. But I'm Singaporean Malay, but maybe like become Australian nice lah. But but I enjoyed lah. But it was crazy lah. The work hours was crazy, right? We had then But it was meaningful lah. Every step of the way when after you do a program, no matter how tired you are, you will sit at IT West canteen
Oh, yeah,
and
man.
eat cheap food and just like, okay, we did well. We did well. Wait for uncle. Wait for the uncle. What's the guy's name to pick us up?
Mike.
Wait for
Mike,
Mike to
and
pick
there's
us up.
another, I
Yeah,
don't
it was
know.
fun. Yeah, that was exciting. I liked it. Yeah.
I know. We did a lot of groundwork back then.
Yeah.
Did you went for home visit?
I went for home visits. So some of the
Yeah.
social workers brought me out for home visits, and that's when I became a strong advocate against domestic violence because I saw it firsthand. Yeah, yeah, and it changed my life, lah. Like you get to realize how much privilege men hold, and I think a big role of what I'm trying to do now is to educate fellow men to call out for domestic violence, which I mean I feel that it's not wrong, but I feel that most of the domestic violence space is by women, which is good. But I think we need more men to step up, to step up, go into this space. It could be a simple thing, and I yep.
Your kind of lost connection.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
backtrack to your 1 minute that you just thought just now.
Sorry, I was telling them about how my life changed, right? Domestic violence. So one of the colleagues brought me over. I saw the impact of domestic violence. And I think one of the things I'm trying to do now, even in Australia, back in Singapore, is to advocate for domestic violence, particularly getting more men to stand up and go into this space. I feel that, rightly so, there are a lot of women, but I think, and good, women needs to advocate for this, but I think more men need to step up and also call out their fellow men and educate their fellow men about, the privilege and the way we behave in front of women. And I think that's, I was one of the terrible fellas, how we always objectify women in NS, I'm not going to run away from it, but I think that has changed my life to really, change your values, it's a value check for you, right? And say, no, this is not the right way to live. And I think the best time to educate them is when they're young, lah. The coffee shop talk about how you objectify women. If you have another guy there that can call it out there and then, it builds up, right? So that's one thing that I'm trying to work now, lah. Yeah.
That's a good movement, y'all. That's the way to go.
Hopefully we get there.
Yeah, man. Well, female must work together.
Yeah,
Right?
and I think it's good.
Sounds
Yeah, and I think going to that space is not about you dominating it, but advocating it with the leadership of women.
Yeah.
Let women lead the way. It's not about you leading and being the hero there, but it's about women leading the way and you being a good follower and advocating fellow men. And that's what I hope to do. Yeah.
Nice movement. Okay, so what I see, your success, your achievements, you was very much involved in community work to the extent that you represent yourself in certain bodies, organization, and your kind of work is really with youth. And out of many target group, why youth?
I think they're the people of tomorrow. They will decide when I grow old what the policies will be like. Yeah. Right? When you are 60, 70 years old, right? These will be your future leaders who will decide the policies, when you can take out your CPF. I mean, okay, I'm just kidding, but yeah, they are the leaders of tomorrow. And I feel that, with young people, it's easy to communicate with them. I feel that it's the best time to have a conversation, to explore their value system, rather than, when they become 40 years old, when everything is very structured, very like, this is what I am. I think when they're young, they are a bit more moldable. And I think that's the best time. Maybe back then I was young, so I was fit, as you can see in that photo. I could do kayaking with them, I could do rock climbing with them, but now I don't know lah. I'm going to go to youth work. I think I need to go and get fit again.
Oh my God, so relatable at this age. You're right, man.
Yeah, man. I start every Saturday floorball, a good 2-hour session, run up, run down. Now I tell you, you give me half an hour after warm up, I'll be like, okay, guys, carry on. I'll be cheerleader from the side. But I think that's about youth work, and that's why I think youth work. If you want to be in the active side, I don't think it can last forever. You can be effective, but I think really your good time is when you are young and you're fit and you're relatable. That's what I think. And another thing, when you're more senior, I think what you do is probably looking at a career stage, helping them to do what's next progression in their life, right?
Yeah.
I think when back then we were younger, remember we could do rock climbing with them all.
Oh my God.
A good 2 hours, go up, go down. Now I tell you, I go for a walk, I get my leg pain. But that's because I'm unfit lah. So
aging, in process, but we still are young at heart,
yeah.
Yeah.
So even now I'm taking more of a mentorship role lah. I did sign up for a few mentor program to be a mentor. So I think that's where, university student, can pace them, oh, what's your next future, what you want to do career exploration, which is part of what I study lah. So which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine in the 20s. You do a lot of groundwork, you meet
Yep.
directly with your stakeholders, and then
Mm,
you do a lot of work with them physically and create all sorts of program for them. You have that
yep.
a lot of time energy, you do that in your 20s. In your 30s, you want things to get more, not only serious, lah, but I think it's about time you want to do something that you can create, as you say, a policy,
Mm.
okay? And you want things a little bit more structured because if not, it will go haywire lah. So that's
Yep.
the reason being.
Yep. And I think it also makes sense because we follow some of the youth through their life, right? So naturally, the kind of advice you give, we also evolve. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I mean, not before all lah. If you work with 12 to 18 all your life, you probably be able to maintain that pace.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah.
So it's always good to do volunteering work, when you still
Yep.
have that time or energy.
Yep. I think it's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important on a lot of levels.
And you are very active, yo. You really, really, really like make time for that. I don't know how out of your busy schedule,
Mhm.
yet you make time to do volunteering work. How do you do that?
I think it's values lah. It's really whether it's in you or not. How, and I think if it's part of you, no matter what, you make time. Right?
That's
If it's
true.
something that you see as very valuable, you will make time for it. Yeah, regardless of how busy you are, because you will move your schedule for it. And I think volunteering is important for everyone. It really it's that part where you ground yourself into the community, you give back, what you have benefited. Yeah, so I mean volunteering has always been part of me, even when I was in uni back then. So, I to me I'll make time for it, and it's a commitment lah that I make to myself. Yeah, and I think if one is really serious, they will find time lah. Yeah, maybe less sleep, okay, which is not a good thing to do. But it's like priority, right? You have to prioritize everything in your life. So
True,
if
true.
volunteering is one of the highest, you naturally will prioritize it as the key thing. Yeah.
But does your loved one complain or not?
Mm, she's okay. She's happy. But of course, that's when you manage, right? So there'll be some days where as much as you want to give everything, you still must remember you have a family.
Yep.
You have a girlfriend, you have a partner, and you need to spend time with her. And it's a balancing act, lah. It's a balancing act. So, when and some days when my girlfriend is working on a weekend, that's when I do volunteering. So it's about how we manage. Although my mom always complain I'm not at home, everywhere. So I'm also it's a wake up call. Being more committed lah when you go back to Singapore, and being intentional in staying at home. Mom wants you to be there, but stay at home, have a conversation with them. And I think being overseas allows me to treasure that moment. Yeah.
Especially now during pandemic, right? So how was the current arrangement? But can you come back to Singapore?
If I come back, I will need to go SHN stay home notice in
Ah,
facility. If MBS, I see some of my friends go MBS. I'm like, wow, sure. But then again, 2 weeks will be painful in anything
yep,
lah.
yep.
If it's a staycation for 3 days, 2 nights, okay lah, no problem. But I think 2 weeks can be quite painful lah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I don't know. No plans to go back anytime soon. Yeah, no plans to go back anytime soon. So, it's more electronic. But interesting, I've been more involved in the Singapore community now than ever when I'm overseas.
Oh, I wonder.
Yeah, because everything is online now. So you can always, jump into a Zoom call,
Correct.
back then, when you talk about volunteering online, people like, apa sia, you volunteer online? Like, come on, be on the, you have to go there. But now, because we have to adapt, I'm actually involved in more, like, volunteering projects. Yeah, in Singapore when I'm away. So it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, man, a long way to go.
Yeah, man, I don't know when it'll be over. Painful.
I don't know what.
I don't know when this will be over.
Yeah.
I mean, I really told my bosses the day that I can fly back without SHN, mate, I'm packing my bag, I'm taking my leave, and I'll work from Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily we have these online platforms.
Yeah.
And I also believe that one day we should go digital. So
Eventually,
I
it will happen.
think with this pandemic, it just make time for it lah.
Mm.
It just it's fated to use especially Zoom. Thanks. Ah.
I think for me, it was a bit easier because even before the pandemic, that's the way I maintained my relationships with most of my friends and my family, right? It's
Yeah,
always, WhatsApp call and all this. So, shifting to the pandemic, I guess the biggest challenge is that loss of freedom lah. I can just, last time anything go wrong, buy a ticket, pop, you can fly home the next flight.
Yeah.
But right now, you don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah lah. That's why I say you come over to Singapore and come back to Aussie just like JB. That's how I did. That's the
Yeah,
difference about our distance. Mm.
no.
All right. Since you're gonna be there for some time, and we don't
Yeah.
know when this COVID gonna
Mhm.
over, it's gonna take a year or two lah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't know, right? I wonder what's your plan down the road.
I think with COVID it's very unpredictable.
Mm.
I'm enjoying my work now. I work for a private organization, a multinational corporation. So I'm enjoying, I'm learning like a lot of new things, like massive new things, which are, back then in the sector, it will take a while, a while to before we cut up with that kind of technology, that kind of way of working, right? So I'm being exposed to this now, which is very exciting. But I think in terms of the work, what is lacking now is that social impact component, making an impact in the community. Because I mean, rightly so, when you join a multinational corporation, it's all about dollars and cash. It's about how you balance the two it, which is okay. I mean, that's a different way of working. But I've learned a lot. But 5 years down the road, I don't know. If it's all about experience. See what I can gain, but I am really not certain. Like I'll still be working for sure, but whether
Yeah.
in Singapore or Australia, I don't know. Yeah, and and I think what the decisions that I'll make based on the next 5 years is based on career progression now. Where gives you a better opportunity, or if staying here gives you a better opportunity, then you do it. And I think that's one thing that we have to be open with lah. Looking at career progression, not because I hate this fella, that's why I'm going there. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's toxic. You have to make a move, no choice. But it should not be moving for the sake of moving, but we should move to strive, to go the next level in our career. That's what I hope to do lah. Whether I get there in 5 years, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. If not, it becomes mashallah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, Kai. What would be your words of wisdom to those who wants to venture out to find study or work overseas?
Um, After working overseas, I feel that everyone, the younger ones, should spend 1-2 years working overseas. I see the value in it. I see how my worldview has changed when I work overseas. How I view some of the social issues in Singapore. How I treasure my family more. So being overseas, right, you are really forced to adapt. Back then, balik rumah, nenek dah masak, tak payah worry, you don't have to worry about the menu, right? Go back home, got curry, got this, everything, all prepared for you. Weekends, you don't have to worry, can crash your parents' breakfast, and it's being covered. Don't do that, anytime you have the luxury to meet your friends, 2 a.m. also can go supper. Down here, I think after 10, you better don't go out unless you have a very good reason, right? So, you learn to appreciate things in Singapore. You learn the things that you learn things that you've always taken for granted, that it's actually a privilege lah. Things like safety, and all this. So yeah, go out there and work. Go and get experience in different culture, because I think you come back as a more empathetic person lah. Yeah, I think yeah, have fun in the 2 years, have fun and embrace. Don't when you go overseas, don't expect the place to be like your Singapore culture. I think don't expect that, but just remember that you're a visitor. Respect and embrace what they do. If it's against your values, you don't have to do it, but understand why you do it. Be like, alamak, gila apa, you don't do that lah. But just say, okay, that's the culture, that's their choice. Yeah, and let them do that. But that does not mean that you have to participate. Yeah. So like Australia's a drinking culture, right? You drink, really lot, yeah. And when you like that, you understand that that's the way they socially connect. But if you have to go there, bring your own Coke lah. Coke no sugar, Coke no sugar. A bit more.
Cook. Oh my God.
So that's my worst advice. Yeah, travel overseas. Make it's okay to fail. It's okay to take risks. Yeah, just be ready. Yeah. And I think know what. It's okay that you don't know what you want to do. But explore. Yeah, explore. So one of the things I remember when I was in uni, I never wanted to be a researcher. And I went to do research as one of my placement. And it was tough lah. It was tough for me who, maybe I can't need to evaluate numbers again. But you begin to appreciate what you do. You understand what you do, but then I was very certain that I don't want to do it. So sometimes you have to work into something and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what I confirm I don't want to do. So I think explore, especially when you're young. Yeah. So that's a word of wisdom. Travel, see the world, And if you have the opportunity to work, you don't have to be in Australia, but anywhere you can work overseas for a while, go for it. Yeah. And network. Your networking must be that's the most important. Yeah. Put yourself out there. That's my rule of. That's my advice. Yeah. Build a good brand and really put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Yeah. Most people just bitch about you on Facebook, but you can always block them and ignore them. Um, and no matter what, as you travel around the world, be grounded to your values. Yeah, okay, too many office them.
Yeah. It's like
Get the questions
wow,
up.
wow. It's like valuable inputs from Mr. Kai,
Yeah.
as he
Cool.
always
Yeah.
cruel.
But I miss our team.
Cruel.
I miss our cool team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man.
After
The
work,
A
chill,
team.
still more. That was
A
the
team.
best. Yeah. Who else is okay? A few of them are still there. Very happy for them. But I think most of us have gone to our own way and explore other things. Yeah, which is cool. Hopefully one day all of us come back for a gathering post-COVID.
Yeah, man. Looking forward for it. Really. The last gathering is via Zoom. Due to is it Hari Raya?
Oh yeah.
Hari Raya, right? Because of Hari Raya.
Yeah. Even our boss joined in, which was really cool. He was like,
Yeah.
hey, how's everything? Yeah, so that was nice. Maybe we should organize some more. We should organize some more.
Yeah. Sure again,
Because when you organize, everybody attend. You realize?
I don't know. Maybe yeah. I didn't. I don't know. Did I kind of a good influencer?
Yeah, good influence. And I think when you invite us, right, we have a social obligation to attend the
Oh.
session. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I will. When NDP?
Oh yeah.
Would that be a good excuse?
National Day catch up. And it's on a Sunday. It's on a Sunday, right? For you all.
Yeah, man.
So
Okay. Good point. Sure.
check this out.
Anyway, yeah, Kai. It's such an honor to have you on my show, man. This is like wow. With all your valuable inputs, I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah.
Because I'm very bored in Melbourne. Yeah.
I hope this will entertain my audience.
Hopefully. Yeah. Feel free to reach out if there's anything. Yep.
Yeah, he can be your mentor. A very good mentor, believe it.
Hopefully. Yeah. But thanks, man. Thanks for having me on board and keeping me company on a Monday night.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that it's Monday. Oh my god.
This
This is what happened when you stay home for many months.
Fun fact, I've been working from home since NFEB. I have not gone back into office. Yep. Since NFEB.
Oh my god, that's the longest. Let me see. NFEB.
Yep.
3. Oh my god, it's like what, 5 months already?
Yep.
Right.
So not complaining.
Don't complain.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. I'm okay. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. It's fine.
Cool.
Quite accessible to the kitchen, to the living room, and
Bedroom,
whatever you
tidur,
wanna.
belakang. Yeah.
Not tidur, short nap.
No, it's called recharging.
Yes.
Taking care of your mental, your mental well-being.
Yes.
It's critical.
It's important.
Yeah. For 10 minutes nap, you can perform twice as better. Why not?
That's true. Humans, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
okay. Right.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Then, thank you, and
No
see you when
problem,
I see you.
See you in Singapore, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.